And happy Wednesday. Happy last Wednesday of September. Can you believe it? We're already to the end of the month, or at least in a few more days. So good to be with you. Welcome to another edition of Networking Know-How, where I help you network more stress-free like we do in our Down and Dirty Networking online community. So let's go ahead and engage in chat. This is an ongoing conversation, and I've got a great training for you today that's built on some conversations that I've had recently in my own personal experiences. And it's how do you nurture relationships beyond the boardroom to create lifelong connections? Now, when you think boardroom, it could actually be interpreted a couple of different ways. And I'm going to explain that, plus give you a couple of really quick tips. If you're not currently in a boardroom, stick with me because I guarantee you the tips I'm going to share will actually help you out. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If we have not yet connected, let me introduce myself. I'm Laura Morlando, the Stress Commando, and I am the founder and CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. Okay, so let's kind of get into this. How do you nurture relationships beyond the boardroom or beyond the break room or beyond your workplace? So typically when we're at work, we can make things, we think when we have to do things relational to build bonds that we have to become best friends with everybody and that's how we need to do it. It's 100% social. And that's not exactly true. It can be. And there are a lot of great companies I work for that did that. But that doesn't mean you have to go that route. What I am suggesting is that you engage in relational networking. Now, relational networking is about learning from and about somebody to have meaningful conversations to build a lasting and authentic relationship. And that's what we're talking about is how do you create that lifelong connection with somebody that you've worked with, be it on a boardroom or in the break room or as a colleague. And when you're thinking of boardroom, so let me dig into this for a second. Some of you might be entrepreneurs. Some of you might not physically be in a boardroom, depending on the position you have and in corporate professional. But many of you might have been a volunteer for an organization and served in a leadership capacity. Maybe you've been at a chamber, or maybe you've been on a leads group, or maybe in a professional association. And so when you've done that, or maybe you've served on a nonprofit board, when you've done that, that is also a boardroom opportunity where you can engage in relational networking and then have connections that last you beyond the work that you did for the thing you were volunteering or the position you were in. And so here's what I'm talking about. You're going to work really hard. And I don't know about you, but for me, I've been on boards. Hey, I see people joining live. Get up and chat. Let me know where you're watching from. It's so good to see you. And if you're watching on replay, go ahead and chime in. I do read each and every comment, no matter what platform you're watching on. So thank you for being here. All right, so back to what I was talking about. So beyond the boardroom, your boardroom could be that you served in a leadership capacity for an association or an organization, group or club. Maybe you're in the PTA group. Maybe you're in different activities or sports activities. Regardless of what the affiliation is, you're connecting with people. And that's the whole point of relational networking. It is connecting with people in a more meaningful way. And one of the best tips I can tell you to make sure that that work, that time that you're spending together is meaningful and therefore more valuable is to engage in relational networking. And the number one tip I can give you is to talk less, question more. Ask thoughtful, open-ended questions and then re-ask them. And that's the nurturing piece. Even when you're off the board. Most times we start things, hey, how you doing? How are you? The most casual of questions is just our go-to standard. I'm going to suggest you upgrade that question. And one of my all-time favorite questions, and if you've been watching for a while, you know that I share this one, and it totally works, is a question I learned from the speaker Amanda Gore, and it's, what is the best thing that's happened to you recently? And then you get quiet and you wait for them to think and give you an answer. This is like the coolest question ever because it requires them to give you a positive response. So it's not a negative, oh, let me give you the list and litany of things that are wrong in my life right now. It's, I have to find what's the best thing. And no matter what their answer is, it opens the door for you to ask additional questions. And so here's the cool part. So with somebody that I am a member of in a mastermind. So this is another opportunity. Where else are you sharing space with other humans, right? So I've paid all of these thousands of dollars to be in this mastermind. And I've met some of the most amazing people. And one of them, we had a conversation this week. We're working and collaborating on projects and helping each other out, which is what you do in relational networking. We're actually leveraging each other's brain power and expertise. But I was able to ask this question of her and find out what was going on. And I know that there's been some challenges she's been facing. And so I could dig in deeper. And in between our conversations, I can send a quick text or message and just say, hey, thinking about you, following up on how's it going? And I can interject what we were talking about. You'd be surprised how powerful a quick text or instant social media message is. Thinking of you, how are you doing? What's new and exciting with you? Those are great questions once you've had more of a face to face kind of scenario. Now, in relational networking, we are not about 30-second commercials. We're not about sales pitches at all. But I do want to talk about this great example that I have been witnessing from someone that I engaged with for something. I signed up for their workshop, their free workshop, and then I paid for one. And so I'm in this Facebook group and they're constantly nurturing the relationship with me through their Facebook Messenger posts by reaching out to me, seeing what's new and continuing the conversation. It's not sales pitches, it's hey, what's going on? Hey, Laura, we're working on this. Not sure if you'd be interested in it. If this is for you, let me know. If not, no big deal. What's going on in your world? They're always asking questions, curious about what I'm saying, following back up. Hey, you said this the last we talked. How's that going? They're consistently following up. And when I reply, they're Johnny on the spot and they reply instantly to me to where I feel like this is truly an ongoing conversation. Never mind that the relationship was founded on the premise of possibly me buying things from them long term. They've nurtured this relationship. So anyone in sales who leverages networking to get leads, let me just tell you right now, engaging in relational networking, getting into a conversation with someone is far more effective. I have not opted out of this conversation. I make sure I pay attention to what they're asking me because some of the things that they've been sharing as a resource I've been interested in. It's been incredibly valuable and a masterclass, an absolute masterclass on how you nurture a relationship, even one that was kind of forged in a sales environment, but they're 100% leveraging what I call and what we call in Down and Dirty Networking, relational networking. And so that's my tip for you to nurture a relationship. Pretend the conversation never ends. So, number one, you got to make sure you start one. Start one by getting to know people, ask open ended questions. We've got a list of really great questions. If you'd like to know more, just reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to give you some of my most favorite questions. But the number one question you can ask is, what's the best thing that's happened to you recently? This one you can ask over and over and over. What's new and exciting with you in your world? Another great one to ask. And then once you've got that answer, it's, hey, thinking about you. What's going on with? How's things going with? And then just continue to follow up and keep the conversation alive. All right, thinking of you, thought you might enjoy this. And send them a resource or some link to a story that maybe you had chatted about or that you know that they might have interest in. That's it. That's how you nurture relationships. That's how you nurture connections beyond the boardroom. So key in, ask some questions, get to know the people around you. And here's the bonus tip that I will say, because I did see another article. I think I was a post on LinkedIn by Gary V. And I absolutely resonate with this. Do not extend meetings for the sake of meetings. If an hour-long meeting can be done in 12 minutes, do it in 12 minutes. So when I say engage in relational networking, you can still do that and have an incredibly productive and concise meeting without it extending it for an hour at a time. So trust me, get very specific targeted questions, and I promise you, you will be able to have incredibly productive meetings like we do. Our Down and Dirty Networking team, guess what? That's the first question we ask each other. What's the best thing that happened to you this past week? And that's how we start. It sets the tone. And then we get right into the things we need to talk about so things can be super, super effective and super productive. So, kind of threw a little bit at you, a little bit more of a smorgasbord, but I hope this was helpful. Make sure that you are leveraging the connections, the interactions that you have right now and turning those into relationships and nurturing them into lifelong connections. If you'd like to learn more, or if you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't know how to do this, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Hey, Andrew, I see you're watching live. So glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So, Andrew, since you're playing along with me, do I have your permission to share something that I haven't shared with the public yet and kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit? Do I have your permission? Can I see a thumbs up? Okay, I'm seeing a thumbs up over here on the other platforms. Okay, I'm going to let you in on a secret. We are about ready to launch a huge month-long campaign here at Down and Dirty Networking that is going to help you connect with people virtually without having to buy anything, without having to leave your desk. It's going to be super, super easy and fun. So if you would like to extend your personal networks on LinkedIn and Facebook, if you need to maybe dust the cobwebs off, if you need to build in some consistency, thanks, Andrew, you're giving me permission saying yes, love it. You'd love to dust the cobwebs off. You'd love to get better and expand things that you're doing on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm going to encourage you to drop the word October in the comments wherever you're watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook. Drop the word October, and I will let the cat out of the bag, and I will share with you privately what we are going to be launching October 1st. So you're going to get to hear about it before anybody else does, and see if this is something you want to play along with us through the entire month on social media, because it's going to be so cool. I just can't wait to tell you. All right, so drop the word October in the comments, or you can private message me the word October, and I will send you out the information so you can be the first to know. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope you leverage relational networking in a very powerful way the next couple of weeks. And if this is helpful, drop me a thumbs up or a heart. Go ahead and let me know what was your favorite part. Drop a comment. But more importantly, tag a friend. If there's someone you think that could really use this, or someone you'd love to buddy up with to learn what's happening in October, make sure that you tag them in the comments, and maybe they can get some love spread for them as well and get some value from the tips that we're sharing. Now, you can go back on LinkedIn, you can go on Facebook or on YouTube on the Down and Dirty Networking pages and look at all of our past networking know-hows for any of our great live tips. And we do have different articles and resources if that can be helpful to you as well. Now, every Wednesday, I go live between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So stay tuned for next Wednesday. It'll be October, so we'll have already launched what's coming. So you're not going to want to miss next week between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central. And stay tuned for news of what's happening, and you'll see it drop October 1. And Andrew, you were smart. You said October, so you're going to be able to get a sneak peek. You're going to get a early, what am I trying to say? An early bird VIP. So you're going to get a peek at what's happening before everybody else. So clearly my words are done for the day. Hope you guys are done for the day. Hope this part has made it a better end to your day. And if you still have work to do, hopefully this makes it a little bit more productive for you. All right, Andrew, thank you so much. You're like my favorite part listening to you, my friend. Oh my gosh, you were better than therapy, dude. Seriously, Andrew, appreciate you so much. Thank you for tuning in. And for all of you else tuning in, thank you so much for watching. And those watching on replay, I appreciate you. All right, I can't wait to share what's coming in October. And until next week, happy networking. Bye for now.